The final bell rings and you're just in time. You wanna jump on the bus and take a ride. It's time to relax and watch a show or two. Then you'll realize you got homework to do. Now the pencils are down, your brain's about to blow. You gotta chill out, there's just one place to go. You just click play, it's that theme song you know. You're finally here, it's the after school show. Now sit back and enjoy the after school show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the after school show.
Greetings! That was too grandiose for the show. Greetings to those of you in after school show land.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we have already got a bunch of people jumping on Facebook right now. They're like giving facts about Mr. Rogers. Catalina, Michael, Dominic, wow, you guys are on point. That's awesome. Yes, we are. I just saw something pop up there. Yes, we are going to talk about one of those things. Oh my goodness. I'm super happy. People are like jumping on.
Yeah.
Fred Rogers is what we're going to be talking about today. We'll get to it in a minute, but it's an awesome topic. And we are going to be showing the new trailer. Little word vomit there. We're going to be showing the new trailer and doing some trailer reactions, and super excited about that. Scott says, great opening graphics. Thank you very much, Scott. Krista said, grew up watching him. Dan said, watched him as a kid. He was our commencement speaker when I graduated university. That would have been awesome.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness, that is crazy. That would have been the best. All right, but before we start that, please stick around. We're going to preview that new trailer. We're going to give you 10 awesome facts about Fred. I got to ask Carlin how his day was today real quickly. Let's check in with Carlin. He's my co-host. He's my son. How are you doing?
All right, I had a very interesting day. Well, I keep on leaving my coats everywhere, so I went to school without a coat, found out that my umbrella was broken, sat there soaked at school, didn't eat breakfast because I just didn't like the breakfast that they had served that day.
It sounds like you had a bummer day.
Yeah.
I had a not so great day as well. Not as bad as sitting soaked, but one thing that solves rain is proper outerwear. Which I think you've already covered. Timmy said, my daughter loves that Black Panther poster. I got that, I think, at allposters.com, Timmy. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. Greg says Fred was the man. Man, we're going to have to jump right into Fred very soon. But before we do that,
you can follow us on Instagram at After School Show. Remember that, guys.
Yeah, definitely follow us on Instagram. Sometimes we give a preview of what the show's going to be about. Sometimes it's awesome skateboarding videos with Carlin. So that's cool. And before we show you this new Fred Rogers trailer, it's time for What's in the Box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Hey, every day we give you clues, Tuesday through Thursday, on what's in the box, and then on Monday we reveal what's in the box.
Yep.
If you guess exactly right, you can win a prize.
From the Pretty Good Prize Locker, but you gotta subscribe to win.
It's right back there, and there's some cool stuff in it. So what's the clue for what's in the box this week, Carlin?
All right, the clue for what's in the box this week is owl.
Owl. That's the only clue you're getting. Come back tomorrow at youtube.com/afterschoolshow and you can get another clue. Today's episode, Tuesdays and Thursdays, is being carried at facebook.com/lifeofdad because we're powered
by Life of Dad.
Somebody said they have had days like that with you, Carlin. The days like what you had today with a rainy day. Somebody said, I watched it when I was little, and now my 1-year-old loves Daniel Tiger. I'm not going to talk about that too much. Children need more shows like that now. Chris said he could not get into it, and Eddie said Fred Rogers was a Marine. Semper Fi. Eddie, you might enjoy, somebody made a short film called Fred Rogers War Hero, and it follows Fred as a younger war hero, and then it ends with him becoming the Fred Rogers we know. You should check that out.
Cool.
It's on YouTube. I don't know the name, but check it out, Eddie. Sarah said Fred Rogers, one of the most positive influences on TV. Drew said not only was he Marine, he was a savage sniper. Ooh. So, Doug likes our What's in the Box reference. Yeah, Doug, we never talk about the reference, but we love the reference. Daniel Tiger's also... I'm not love him with Daniel Tiger. I don't love Daniel Tiger. Where have we talked about Daniel Tiger before?
All right, we have talked about Daniel Tiger on the What Are We Watching podcast, and you can check that out at whatarewewatching.com.
Okay, what we did was a retro versus contemporary,
Yes.
where we talked about
Daniel Tiger,
which is the contemporary, versus
Mr. Rogers'
Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
And what was your big takeaway from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
All right, my big takeaway from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was the Miss Elena. She was creepy.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Lady Elaine.
Lady Elaine.
Lady Elaine creeped Carlin out. I was watching his face when the Land of Make-Believe came up because, he didn't watch Fred Rogers growing up. And he checked out the Lady Elaine, and she had those red, it was a classic puppet style of that time. And he went, ah! And it freaked him out. So that was pretty funny. You should check out the What Are We Watching podcast. Okay, well, we are going to give 10 facts about Fred Rogers as soon as we watch this trailer, but we want everybody to watch this trailer, so pop in your headphones, Carlin. I hope everybody's going to join us with this. It's about 2 minutes long.
Cool.
And let's go ahead and check out the trailer for the new Fred Rogers biopic.
A television program for children made its unauspicious debut on station WQED in Pittsburgh. Its host, Fred Rogers.
Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
I want to tell you something.
What would you like to know?
I like you.
I like you, my dear. Thank you very much for telling me
It's so
that.
sweet.
Yeah.
You take all of the elements that make good television and do the exact opposite. You have Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Low production values, simple set, unlikely star. Yet, it worked.
Hello. I've always felt that I didn't need to put on a funny hat or jump through the hoop to have a relationship with a child.
He was always trying to get a message across in every show.
A week on death,
What does assassination mean?
on divorce.
Some people get married, and after a while, they're so unhappy that they don't want to be married anymore.
He was radical. I know everyone says that, but he was radical.
They didn't want black people to come and swim in their swimming pools. My being on the program was a statement for Fred.
A neighborhood was a place where, at times that you felt worried, scared, unsafe, would take care of you.
He had a singular vision of kindness and love.
Love is at the root of everything. All learning, all relationships, love or the lack of it. Children have very deep feelings, just the way everybody does. There must be times when you do feel blue.
But he didn't really
I'm not feeling blue right now, though.
Me neither.
Won't you be my neighbor? Well, I suppose it's an invitation. It's an invitation for somebody to be close to you. The greatest thing that we can do is to help somebody know that they're loved and capable of loving. Won't you please, won't you please, please won't you be my neighbor?
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, man, that's pretty good. Now, I don't know if you've checked out the video. It has him talking to the little boy in the wheelchair. I've linked that below our video at youtube.com/afterschoolshow. So you can go see that whole segment with Fred, but he sings a song with that little kid. The kid sings along with him. And it's just a magic moment. I mean, Fred was magic. He was, but he did it without special effects. He did it without any of these things. And we're going to get into why he was who he was now. So why don't,
All right.
I'll start off with number one. Here is a fact of about Fred Rogers. He was bullied as a child.
That's sad.
And he talked about bullies. He talked about anger in the episode we did on the What We Watching podcast. He said, I used to cry to myself when I was alone, and I would cry through my fingers and make up songs at the piano. And those songs ended up being in the Fred Rogers Neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's so awesome that he took that pain as a kid. Why don't you drop off number two?
All right. Mr. Rogers was an Ivy League dropout. He completed his freshman year at Dartmouth and then transferred to Rollins College so he could get a degree in music.
Right. So now he didn't drop out of college, but Ivy League colleges are like the upper echelon, the higher level colleges that people are trying to get in, the Harvards, that kind of thing, Princeton's. He said, I don't want an Ivy League education. I want a music education, and I think Rollins College is going to do better. So he said goodbye to something that people sometimes spend so much of their life trying to attain, even adults trying to get into those colleges after their, high school years. But he's like, no, this is the college for me. Rochelle says that explains why he has such compassion for every person. And that's true. He was an ordained minister, which somebody said right at the top of the show in the comments here on Facebook, which is awesome. When Amy Melder, a 6-year-old Christian viewer, sent Rogers a drawing she made for him, he said, he said this on Mr. Rogers, he said, I'm an ordained Presbyterian minister, and I want you to know that Jesus is important to me too. I hope that God's love and peace comes through my work on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
That's sweet.
That's sweet. And we'll read another thing in a minute that talks about him responding to viewers. But go ahead and bring us number 4.
All right. In the opening sequence of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the stoplight is always on yellow. That's a reminder to kids and parents to slow down a little.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I was not paying attention to why it was yellow.
It's one of those subliminal things probably to most people. Travis Green says hey to Carlin and Carlin's
Travis
dad.
Green.
He's on YouTube watching. B. Rye Andrews is joining us. Thank you, B. Rye. Number 5, and this goes with the letter he wrote with the little girl. He responded to all, A-L-L, capital A-L-L, all of his fan mail.
Wow.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
We try to do the same thing on YouTube and Facebook until people get ugly, and then we say goodbye to them. But we try to do the same thing. We're not comparing ourselves to Mr. Rogers, but it's important to us that we connect with people, and that's why we try to have live shows like this, because we love to chat with you guys.
Yeah.
All right,
so number 6. His interest in making television was because he hated children's television he'd seen.
Right.
When I first saw children's television, I thought it was perfectly horrible, Rogers told Pittsburgh Magazine. And I thought there was some way of using this fabulous medium to be of nurture to those who would watch and listen.
I love his words. He said, when I saw children's television, I thought it was perfectly horrible. Like he didn't like cartoons. I've heard him speak more on the matter. He didn't like cartoons where people get bashed on the head and all that kind of stuff. Now, I think there's a place for that. There's a place for Looney Tunes. There's a place for Black Panther, all that kind of stuff. You know, although this is the mix of action and meaningful values like what Fred does. But I think that there's a place for all those things. But the kind of thing that he did on children's TV didn't exist before him. And I think that is very, very important. Wow. Doug Beaver said, I thought yellow meant to speed up. And he said he was just kidding. I hope you don't drive, Doug. Please take your license if you have it, cut it up, along with your credit cards. You shouldn't be purchasing anything. He's just kidding. I'm just kidding with you, Doug. All right, here's something that totally makes sense now that you, as an adult, have seen Mr. Rogers. He was colorblind. So all of those bright colored sweaters he wore and all of the crazy 70s sets make total sense now.
I guess that's why he had crew members to help him out.
Right, of course. But all of the sets in the 70s were ugly, so it just makes sense that some of that was crazy. But I think it's funny that he was colorblind. There's a story where he had somebody at a restaurant taste his soup because he didn't know if it was pea soup or tomato soup because he couldn't tell the difference between green or red. And she said, well, what difference does he make? He said, well, if it's tomato soup, I put sugar in it. So I was like, okay, I guess. I mean, I would just take one sip. I think you could decide. But hey, Fred, have some lady taste your soup. You're Fred Rogers. You tell them what to do. All right, go ahead.
All right, number 8. Michael Keaton, the original movie Batman, got his start on the show. He was also a stand-up comedian.
Right. Right. He was one of my favorite stand-up comedians. He didn't
Wow.
do stand-up that long. You know, I did stand-up for years. And I got to stand on some of the same stages Michael Keaton stood on.
Cool.
That's an honor to me. I love Michael Keaton. But yeah, he was in a crazy like troupe on Mr. Rogers where he was like the circus brother with this other and they would just do goofy stuff. They're like, we're going to do a big trick for you now. We're going to do a big trick. Oh, yeah. And it was just silly. They would just kick a leg out and stuff. It was so ridiculous. But he said Fred loved that stuff. It was just so dumb and just meaningless, which is meaningful. You know what I mean? It's just fun stuff.
That's cool.
So Michael Keaton started on that show. Here's another name. Rogers gave George Romero, now this is just for adults. Kids should not be watching George Romero movies. Rogers gave George Romero his first paying gig. George Romero is like a very famous zombie horror filmmaker. Like some of the most famous zombie movies in the history of film were made by a guy that started on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I think that's so cool. Jacinda says, my son loves Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but they don't play it as much as they have Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood on, but it's all right. Now, here's what you can do. You can go on Amazon, and there's actually a compilation 4 DVD disc that you can get for Mr. Rogers. And right now, PBS has another documentary that they did, kind of like a special, not as in-depth as this documentary that's coming out this summer we showed the preview for. But you can get that on their website for a donation to PBS. But right now it's like at that $80 donation, you get the DVD kind of thing. They'll probably put it on their site later for less money. But if you support PBS, that's the way to get that. All right, last tip or fact about Fred Rogers.
All right, last fact. Number 10. He wore sneakers for TV because they were less squeaky than his dress shoes.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah. And how he would just walk in and switch his shoes.
Walk in, toss a shoe in his hand, put his sneakers on.
Because he was home, and that's his excuse.
That's not why he did it. He was doing it because his dress shoes were too squeaky in the studio. So it was for TV that he did that.
That's
I just
crazy.
think that's super funny. All right, guys. Well, it's time to spin the wheel weekends. Don't move because I'm going to show you one more Fred Rogers video that you want to see. Just stick with us for a couple more minutes. Right now, we spin the wheel weekends. Go ahead and give it a turn, Carlin. We hit Charity yesterday. That's pretty cool.
And it landed on Help a Child in Need. That means we will be sending money to Cranio Bears.
That's right. One of the charities with support, along with Bethany.org, which is our adoption charity, is Cranio Bears. You can check out a link at youtube.com/afterschoolshow in the show notes to find out more information. So nobody's winning free pizza today.
Not free pizza today.
Some kids are getting some bears that need it, and I think that's even better.
All right, time for the video of the day.
All right, today's video of the day is another video that you must watch if you loved Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers, and it is the video where he almost single-handedly saved PBS television. That's right. He went to Congress. Congress was about to pull all the funding that they gave PBS, and he spoke to a congressman, and you could see that congressman's heart growing like the Grinch. You could just see it happening. I mean, his eyes, the way he talked, it was so wonderful. Watch this video. It's like 6, 8, 10 minutes long. I can't remember. I watched so many Fred Rogers videos this week. Watch that video. The link is in the show notes at Cool Video of the Day, youtube.com/afterschoolshow. And don't forget to support Life of Dad at facebook.com/
Life of Dad.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. At facebook.com/ or did you step on me?
I stepped on you.
Catalina says your son is adorable. He is.
I know I am.
It came from my side of the family. That's a joke, obviously.
Yeah.
All right. You should check out the video of him at Congress. That's for sure. So go to YouTube. Thank you to Life of Dad for having us. We'll be back again on Thursday. We're going to do some really awesome craft stuff on Thursday. We're going to be doing like 5 different ways of doing Easter eggs for the kids this year.
Wow.
You definitely want to check it out. There's some things you've never thought of and some things you might have seen on Pinterest that you're like, I don't know if that's worth the trouble. We're going to find out if it's worth the trouble. We're digging in. We're getting our hands dirty.
All right.
That's not true. I'm going to wear rubber gloves.
All right, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Thank you for watching, guys.
If you love Mr. Rogers, if he has affected your life, if he's affected your kid's life, share this video. Let us share these 10 facts about Fred Rogers with your friends on Facebook. It boosts us up in the Facebook algorithm. It helps promote Life of Dad. All things that are a worthy cause. So not only give us a thumbs up, just click that share button and let everybody know about the new Mr. Rogers bio trailer. And we will see you tomorrow, same time, next time.
Bye, guys. Click here and subscribe to our channel, and click here if you want to watch more awesome videos. Come on, click.
I sit back and enjoy the after school show.